A very good evening. Welcome to Premier League Live as we kick off our Saturday evening action from the Hill Dickinson Stadium on Merseyside. As an Everton side looking to get themselves right back in the European conversation, but with wins for Fulham and Brighton today, means it's going to be a bit of a tougher task for the Toffees. For Chelsea, it's an opportunity. Liverpool losing earlier this afternoon and Man United dropping points mean Chelsea have the chance to take advantage of the teams above them's feelings, and Villa not playing until tomorrow. It is all on Chelsea if they can come away with victory here this evening. Kick off in a few minutes, but before all that, last night we watched Bournemouth and Man United play out a 2-2 draw at the Vitality. At lunchtime, Liverpool were beaten by Brighton, the 10th defeat of the season for Arne Slot's Liverpool. Brighton 2-1 winners at the Amex Stadium. Danny Welbeck with both goals. And Fulham 3-1 winners against relegation-threatened Burnley, who were down to 10 late in that game. Despite leading the game, Burnley, it is their 19th loss of the campaign, and they sit 3 points off the bottom from Wolves and 9 adrift of safety. Let's have a look at the two teams for this evening's game at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Everton against Chelsea. Let's start with the home side in Everton. Jordan Pickford starts in goal. O'Brien, Tarkowski the captain, Keane and Mykolenko are in defence. James Garner and Idrissa Gana Gueye in midfield, with Kiernan Dewsbury Hall in the 10. Dwight McNeil on the right and Iliman Ndiaye on the left, with Beto the lone centre forward. On the bench for David Moyes' side, Travers, Patterson, Coleman, Branthwaite, Dibbling, Roll, Irabunam, Armstrong and Barry. Well, for Liam Rosenior's Chelsea, well, it's been a topsy-turvy week, of course. Knocked out of the Champions League, one of the 4 English sides that were knocked out in midweek. Robert Sanchez starts in goal, the back 4 of Malo Gusto, Wesley Fofana, Jarell Hato and Marco Correa. Romeo Lavia and Moises Caicedo are in midfield alongside Enzo Fernandez further forward. Cole Palmer off the right, Pedro Neto off the left, and João Pedro leads the Chelsea line. On the bench for Liam Rosenior's side, Sharman Lowe, Achempong, Tosin, Sarr, Esugo, Estavao, Santos, Garnacho and Delap. Options off the bench if the Blues need it. And remember, they've got a lot still to fight for in this season, but one less competition after they were dumped out by European champions PSG in the week. But they want to bounce back and get themselves right back in the conversation to be in the Champions League next season. And Everton, they've got European hopes of their own. Kick-off at the Hill Dickinson Stadium on the banks of the River Mersey is next. A very good evening. Welcome to Premier League Live this Saturday evening here in LFS. Thank you very much for your company for this one this evening. Everton take on a Chelsea side who, as I said, have had a tough week, but the weekend has started pretty strongly for them. 3rd place Man United drawing and 5th place Liverpool losing means it is opportunity knocks for Chelsea, who could find themselves inside the top 4 with a victory this evening before Aston Villa play tomorrow, and within 4 points of Man United. So it is all on Chelsea's hands. But for Everton, if they were to win tonight, they would be just 2 points behind Chelsea in the table and up to 7th ahead of Brentford's game against Leeds, also later this evening. So both sides have opportunities to win this game and to give their hopes of European football next season a major boost in what has been a busy and topsy-turvy Premier League match weekend so far across the country. David Moyes and Liam Rosenior, 2 managers at either ends of their managerial careers. David Moyes, a very experienced manager, and Liam Rosenior, very new to this field of kind of position as the Chelsea boss, but has started quite well. If Arsenal and PSG weren't on Chelsea's radar and weren't in their fixtures, Liam Rosenior would be in an incredible position. Early threat here though. Beto picking up the ball in the midfield. Finds Dwight McNeil to his right hand side. Trying to feed in Beto right away. He's kept it in play. And McNeil does well to work it round the right. Everton on the front foot from the off here. Here's O'Brien. He's got Pedro Neto for company. O'Brien back to Idrissa Gana Gueye. Everton right on the front foot and in possession right from the off. Of course, their new home hasn't really felt like home at times this season for Everton. 5 wins out of 16 home league games, 4 draws and 6 defeats. Has them sitting 14th for home league form. Only 6 sides have a worse points tally at home than Everton this season. Spurs, Burnley, Wolves, West Ham, Forest and Crystal Palace. In terms of Chelsea's away form, though, only one team has more points on the road than than Chelsea this season on the road, and that is Arsenal, the league leaders, who are far clear of anyone else. But Chelsea, the best of the rest when it comes to their travels this season. So if one team's to come here and pick up victory, it very much could be this one. Not going to be an easy task though. Everton are a team that, yes, they might not be the best team at home. When they've got an opportunity, when they've got quality, when they can get themselves in good positions and set themselves up well, they can really be a real cause for concern. That's where Chelsea have to be wary tonight. Everton are not a free hit by any stretch like they used to be when they were in those relegation battles. David Moyes has made them into a really tough side to play against, as you would expect for David Moyes and his Everton teams. And that's why they're in the conversation for European football again, Everton. There's Mikolenko there battling with Malo Gusto. Will be a Chelsea throw down the right. Hato back to Cucurella. Caicedo trying to poke it through first time, but McNeil there to intercept. Back to Mikolenko. Garner works it back to Jordan Pickford. Into James Tarkowski. Returns to the Everton side this evening, which will be a welcome return for those Toffees. Getting their strong centre-back back in the field of view. His first appearance since he scored against Burnley here at the start of the month on the 3rd of March. And that 2-0 victory over Burnley that day. He opened the scoring. Did Tarkowski. And has been so reliable for Everton over the last few seasons. Certainly, even when they've been struggling. He's played over 30 games in each of the last 4 campaigns for Everton, including this, where it's his 33rd appearance of the season for the for the Toffees, his 30th in the Premier League. Oh, won it back high here. Dewsbury Hall dribbling into the box. Just about snatched away from him before he could get a shot off. Garner picks it back up. Everton with the high press, winning it back right in a very dangerous position. Unable to capitalise though, but they keep the pressure on here. Garner out to the left side, finds Mikolenko. Nice little 1-2 with Iliman Ndiaye. Mikolenko flicks it in behind for Ndiaye, who fires it across the box, but well cut out by Caicedo. And Fernandes wants to get Chelsea on their bike. Pedro goes backwards and Malo Gusto plays it back to Robert Sanchez. Well, Chelsea are a team that want to play out from the back, want to play into space, want to use the ball as best they can with as many players as they can and progress it through the pitch. But Everton are a team that are scruffy, scrappy, really hard to play against, and are a team that have got a real good press, able to really aggressively close down space, and Chelsea at times can be very vulnerable to that high press and get themselves in real tricky situations at the back. That's the risks and rewards that Chelsea like to take. Gusto. No way forward there for Wesley Fofana. Has to reverse it back to his goalkeeper. That's a lovely through ball though. Beautifully played. Caicedo drifting out to the left as the ball comes to Pedro Neto. Hugging the touchline. Back inside to Cucurella. Now Caicedo. Edge of the area. Caicedo's shots. Dragged well wide of the left post. But better from Chelsea though. Caicedo carried it through the middle. Lovely little reverse pass into Caicedo's path. But as we see this play here, it was a ball that was initially played to Romeo Lavia. Snatched upon by Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. Everton were in business. Ultimately until Caicedo recovers and makes the challenge to stop Dewsbury-Hall in his tracks. But that's where the danger can come. Chelsea a little bit too complacent with their play in their own half, and Everton just alert, aggressive to get to the ball. Sanchez, Fofana, flicks it up towards João Pedro, but cut out well by Michael Keane and followed up with another header by Tarkowski. Brought down by Dewsbury-Hall to Iliman Ndiaye. Gotta say, I am a little bit surprised at the way Chelsea have gone about their team selection. João Pedro is still a very quality player, but he don't really scream out as someone that will cause James Tarkowski and Michael Keane real problems. Ain't, I would argue, a physical nuisance, which those two defenders kind of need, really. I thought Liam Delap will be more of that type of player, but Liam Senior decided to go with João Pedro. Up front is Gusto. Plays it back to Sanchez. Gauges the press out of Beto, but Sanchez got the better of it. Here's Fofana. Chelsea now are claiming a lot of the ball. A lot of it in their own half though. Here's Cole Palmer. That's a nice ball. Played into Fernandez, who wanted to go wide to João Pedro, but Pedro came central. Missed communication there. And that's going to see Everton win the throw-in deep in their own half. Poor ball there by Enzo Fernandez. We see it here. Mikolenko to take this long throw down the channel for Everton. Held up by Beto. And Jake O'Brien is confident there with that crossfield ball. Just heads it back to Jordan Pickford. Going to go long. Towards Iliman Ndiaye. And that's forced a poor header out of Wesley Fofana. It's going to go for an Everton corner. Well, I have to say Wesley Fofana was a little bit dumbfounded there by the fact that it was quite easy. One ball by Pickford and flicked a poor header by Fofana to evade the trouble of Iliman Ndiaye, and will be an Everton corner. Very easy, that was. Now Everton with the first set piece. It's their first corner of the game. 9 minutes in. Everton on the front foot again with this set piece. On the left. Garner over to take. Right footed delivery. Headed away at the near post. By Lavia, I think that was. Or was it Jarell Hato actually? And there was a foul anyway. Referee blows it for a foul on Moises Caicedo. Free kick to Chelsea. Referee Sam Barrett. VAR Paul Howard for this one. Oh, what's going on here? Robert Sanchez, my goodness me. What on earth? That was a dive there, surely, from Chelsea defensively. But what on earth again? Jarell Hato and Robert Sanchez here. I mean, I don't know what planet he's on. He's ambling about. And Beto comes crashing in Robert Sanchez, I mean, he is incredibly lucky that he had a defender there, because if he didn't, Moises Caicedo was there for the rescue. But my goodness me, Chelsea living dangerously is putting it lightly. Robert Sanchez almost gifting Everton a golden chance. And Everton's two best chances have come from Chelsea mistakes. There's a difference between playing out from the back and just being plain stupid. I mean, he takes nearly 20 seconds to clear the ball there, Robert Sanchez. I mean, I know you're given time, but not that much time. And Betta was making sure that he didn't have all the time he wanted there, Robert Sanchez. And he's very lucky that it didn't come back to bite Chelsea. This is the type of thing that Everton are the team that will target. Ball's dropped nicely here. Dewsbury Hall down the left. Beto running into the box. Dewsbury Hall. Cross was right across the 6-yard box and into the hands of the Chelsea keeper. But again, really good threat from Everton. And we see it here. They're very high up the field, Everton. 6 of their players' average positions are deep in the Chelsea half. That's how high they're playing. Really impressive so far from David Moyes' side out of possession. Iliman Ndiaye getting pressure on the ball there, but Cucurella to the left. Fernandes. Caicedo. Lavia. Malo Gusto. Back to Romeo Lavia. Back again to Fofana, and now across to Jarell Hato. Just trying to get settled on the ball, Chelsea. But again, we've seen this so many times with this Chelsea team where they're having so much of the possession and controlling the ball, but ultimately giving the opposition chances by individual errors and mistakes at the back, and trying to be too kind of short with it. And again, giving it away under no pressure whatsoever. Mykolenko finds Iliman Ndiaye. Ndiaye, edge of the area, tiptoeing his way in. Not seen a way past there, past Malo Gusto, but Garner's there to help, and Mykolenko with the early cross, deep. Cucurella heads it away from the incoming Dwight McNeil. And Pedro Neto there, seeing it out of play, but Diego Bryant had the last touch, so a Chelsea throw. But again, that's another. I think Chelsea just sometimes get bored with the much possession they're having, and they're like, here, have a bit. I'll give it back to you. I mean, they make so many errors at the back. It's a really risky. I mean, that's another one. Terrible giveaway. Here's Beto. Fires across, no one there. Picked up for Garner. Blocked on the line. McNeil. Dewsbury Hall. Finding Mykolenko. Now Garner. Into the box. Dewsbury Hall. Everton on the push again. Garner. Chelsea, I have to say, a lot of unforced errors. Keane gives it to Garner, who will look to progress the ball down the left channel. Feeds it out wide to Mykolenko. Not much room there with Palmer dropping in. Everybody behind the ball in the Chelsea colours. I have to say though, the Imra senior side are very lucky not to be at least 1-0 down. The way they've played in the first 15 minutes of this game, they have given more than a handful of chances to Everton to take advantage of, and so far the home side haven't really been able to capitalise, but probably should have, in the way their opponents have been playing so far. A Chelsea team that conceded 8 goals over 2 games against PSG, 5 away, 3 at home. Here comes Palmer though. Down the left it goes to Pedro Neto. Neto! That's deflected off. O'Brien back off Neto and behind for a goal kick. Really strong there from O'Brien. And again, Chelsea. I'm sure Liam Senior will be fuming with the way his side have started this game. The way it's panned out so far. Well, Everton have lost just one of their last 8 Premier League home games against Chelsea. Won 5 of those, drawn 2. Since, the only win in that run for Chelsea was a 1-0 victory in August of 2022 at Goodison Park. Jorginho with the penalty late in the first half of that game. It was the only goal of that match. Since that point, though, it's been a 2-0 Everton win and a 0-0 draw last season between the sides. Of course, their first meeting here in the Premier League. That's lovely football by Everton. Mykolenko down the left. Fires it early into the box. Njai with a touch. Took him away from goal and allowed Fofana to mop up. Still under pressure, though, Wesley Fofana. Trying to do a bit of skill to get it away, and in the end does get it away, but only as far as a Everton throw, a few yards away from him. But again, really, really positive from Everton. I have to say I've been thoroughly impressed with this Everton start. Thoroughly impressed. Mykolenko to take this throw in for Everton as they get the height up there with a couple of centre-backs arriving. Mykolenko going to go long, it looks like. Going to go short, he's going to fake it. Dewsbury Hall. Wide on the left. Swings one in. Headed away. Back to Dewsbury Hall. Charging into the area. Does well to keep it in play. Mykolenko whips it in. Deep. Tarkowski's header. Cleared away by Hato. But again, time after time, Everton are sustaining the pressure, and Everton are sustaining the pressure, and Chelsea just cannot fend it off. Cannot get a grip of this game, the visitors. Really strong so far from the home side. Here's Cucurella. Fernandez. Caicedo back to Enzo Fernandez. Neto. Well, in the reverse between the sides earlier this season, Chelsea won by 2-0. Cole Palmer and Malo Gusto, the 2 scorers, back in December. Enzo Maresca was the Chelsea boss back then. The Chelsea side that dominated Everton on the day. An Everton side who did get 11 shots off away at the Bridge, so it wasn't a complete disheartening performance for David Moyes' team, but it's the lack of clinical edge on that day. Palmer. Bundled over there by Vitaly Mykolenko, and that gets Chelsea a free kick. But a quick analysis of the way the game's gone so far. I mean, it's quite evident from the shots. 3-1 in Everton's favour. Everton have had the only 2 shots on target of the match so far. And in terms of everything else, I mean, when it comes to final third, they've entered the final third almost triple the amount of times, more than triple, 16-5 in Everton's favour. In terms of the duels, it's 50-50. But when it comes to kind of creating, Everton are looking the more threatening side so far. An XG of 0.31 to Chelsea 0.04. So an attack that's been almost non-existent from Chelsea so far. Their only shot came from Moises Caicedo from range that was dragged well wide. And other than that, not seen very much of Chelsea in an attacking position all afternoon so far. 20 minutes gone. Remain goalless here at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, but it is the home side who've certainly laid down an early gauntlet. Still goalless. Gusto. Lavia back to Fofana. Lavia picks it up in the space on the halfway line. Lovely little ball to find Palmer on the half turn. Nice little 1-2 with Cucurella. Palmer felt he was fouled on the edge of the box. He was brought down, but was it a foul? The referee said no. Palmer incessantly claiming the contrary. The officials say no foul on Palmer by Idrissa Gueye. There's no clear evidence there that there was a foul. Is it here? Yeah. I think that's a little soft. Very, very little, excuse me. Apologies. Very little contact there at all. Palmer trying to buy that free kick, in my opinion. Again, the aerial ability of Chelsea's been non-existent. Gusto with a good challenge. But the threat isn't done yet. Here come Everton again. Mykolenko. Little 1-2 with Dewsbury Hall. Little heavy. Mykolenko picks it up. Swings it in. Too high for Beto and chested down by McNeil. Brought back to Idrissa Gueye. Really sharp from Everton. Chelsea looks so lethargic. Really lethargic. Garner. Decisive ball, but well seen by Malo Gusto. Ahead of Mykolenko. Clearance only as far as Tarkowski, sorry, who picks it back up. Garner. Iliman Njai. I have to say, the home crowd, I would say, we fairly enjoyed this first quarter of the match. I'd love to see a little bit more in terms of goal threat from their side. Just a little bit. Maybe a goal to boot as well, but other than that, they've done everything perfectly. Fernandez, though, with a lovely ball down the left channel, finding Pedro Neto. Chelsea on the move. Blue shirts in his way. Neto. Cucurella clips it into the area. And no one there for Chelsea to get anywhere near. That's ushered away by Mykolenko, who clears. Just a little bit hopeful from Chelsea, but hopeless in the fact of the way the delivery was going to absolutely no one. Palmer spins into space, finds Enzo Fernandez bursting towards the box. Enzo Fernandez ran straight into the players in his way there. Didn't really want to take a shot off there, Enzo Fernandez. He was in a shooting position inside the area. Just have a shot. Very indecisive there, Enzo Fernandez. Ultimately, the attack came crumbling down. Have, though, really enjoyed the play of Everton so far. Really incisive, really energetic, really kind of controlled. That's also causing Chelsea real problems. As I say, all that's been lacking of Everton's performance so far has been a goal. They've done everything right in and out of possession, bar finding the back of the net. Cucurella. Neto. So Pedro runs into Idrissa Gueye, but Idrissa Gueye gets a little bit impatient. Gives it away to Caicedo. Now Enzo Fernandez. Right to the left-hand side comes Neto. Everton, everybody back. Chelsea have strong high possession, but Fernandez right at Tarkowski. Cleared away it goes. Chelsea try and ping it forward themselves, but Dewsbury Hall out muscling his man, and the ball bounces all the way back to Jordan Pickford. Well, a quick look at the way the Premier League table looks as it stands. We'll get that up on the left-hand side of your screen, because the weekend's action has already given us some interesting results. Now, this is as it stands, with Chelsea and Everton currently drawing. This is the way the Premier League table would look. Man United, of course, would stay very much third. Aston Villa very much fourth. Chelsea would leapfrog Liverpool up to fifth. With a better goal difference, would go above Liverpool, who would go drop to sixth. Brentford would be in seventh. Fulham 8th, and Everton up to 9th, ahead of Brighton, who beat Liverpool earlier this afternoon with a draw. But a win for either team would see them sail up their positions by a few places. Chelsea would jump to 4th, and Everton would go to 7th with victory for either one of these two. So, again, a big opportunity for either one to come away with victory in this game tonight and say that they're making a real staking claim, that they're very much in this European fight and want to make a real charge for it. Here's Idrissa Gueye at the byline. Cuts it back, and Chelsea players smothering it away as Cucurella finds Neto. Sanchez. Excuse me. Finding Malo Gusto. Lavia, good strength there, and Palmer with a lovely reverse ball, finding João Pedro. Chelsea could be in business here. João Pedro in the box. Shot blocked by Tarkowski. Picked up again by Cucurella. Chelsea having a better spell of possession and a little bit better threats, but still not really tested Jordan Pickford too much as of yet. Down the left it comes, and it bubbles and bubbles. Will be a miscommunication by Everton defensively. That's going to be a Chelsea corner. Yeah, beautiful from Cole Palmer. Lovely little flick round the corner, finding João Pedro, that got Chelsea into business. But again, as they got into the final third, good block by Tarkowski, but just a little bit more clinical. Chelsea there. Enzo Fernandez to take the corner, left hand side. Right-footed delivery deep to the back post. Fofana was there, but O'Brien got it away. Oh, bounce out for a Chelsea throw on the right-hand side. High up the field in the final third. Gusto will be the one to take. Back to Caicedo it goes. Pokes it into Jarell Hato. Fernandez. Down the left to Neto. Back to Enzo Fernandez. Keeping it moving, Chelsea. They've been doing all afternoon, but a little bit more impetus here as Caicedo's ball was a threatening one, and Tarkowski had to do something about it. And he headed it behind for another corner. Again, it was good from Moises Caicedo. He knew that if Cucurella was there, it would entice Tarkowski to do something and at least get Chelsea a corner at the very least. Corner it is indeed. Enzo Fernandez to take again. Left side. Right-footed delivery. Into the box. Headed away by an Everton player. Drops for Caicedo. So man blocked to Cucurella. Blocked again. Still not away. As Beto is there. But he doesn't get it away. Now Neto. Still not away. Keane. Now Cucurella picks it up. Reversed into João Pedro, who forced the save out of Jordan Pickford. Well, chaos there, I have to say. From the corner, it's Keane's header that drops the way of... Is it... I can't see who it was that had the shot. Was it Caicedo? It bobbles around, continually having shots here, Chelsea. Neto, and then it drops out to Cucurella. He feeds it to the left. Enzo Fernandez reverses it to João Pedro, who had the shot well saved by Pickford. But Chelsea showing some threat. It's more chaos than anything else there, but certainly had Chelsea in good positions to try and threaten Everton. And certainly Liam Senior's side's best moments of this game so far. You gotta say, so far Everton played so high up the field but they were really not allowing Chelsea to get anywhere up the field themselves. But it started to swing a little bit the opposite way. Albeit, though, in terms of the possession and where it's been in the field, 47% of the play has been in Chelsea's final third, defensive third, 40% in the middle third, and just 13% of the total overall possession of this match has been in Everton's defensive third. So that goes to the theory that, one, Chelsea have been lacking threat in attacking areas themselves, and Everton have played so high up the pitch they haven't even retreated into their own defensive third very much either. Really aggressive approach from the home side. An approach, I have to say, has been quite refreshing to watch so far. Still nothing, as I said, to show for it when it comes to goal-mouth action. Caicedo, nice ball to find Pedro Neto, links up with Cucurella, but he couldn't return the ball there, Cucurella. And Everton retrieve. Beto run into trouble himself there, but isolated there, Beto on the right flank, and Chelsea were able to recover themselves. Yeah, I think the momentum's kind of just swung a little bit in the last few minutes in Chelsea's favour. Finally come to the party, Chelsea. Can they take advantage? The one positive Chelsea could take out of the first 20-25 minutes that they weren't really threatening was the fact they didn't concede. They kept it at 0-0 and kept this a good fighting game. Gusto tried the cross, was blocked well by Mykolenko. Here he is on the ball, Mykolenko, trying to find Beto in a channel and battled with Wesley Fofana. That's going to be an Everton throw. Nicely done by Beto there. King. Dewsbury Hall. Garner plays it through, lovely ball. Beto finds the net. Everton take the lead. Just as the momentum was swinging in the way of the Blues, the Toffees stick it to Chelsea and take the lead on their own turf. An Everton side that have probably deserved an opening goal this evening have their advantage, and it's their star number 9, Beto, to beat Robert Sanchez and to fire the Toffees in front. Fantastic, beautiful ball by Garner, wonderful run by Beto, quality finish too. Everton 1, Chelsea 0, and the twists and tails and the turns of this European battle continues to deliver. Incredible. Beautiful from Garner. Gorgeous through ball, and Beto just angles himself perfectly between the defender and goalkeeper and pokes the ball round Robert Sanchez, and it bobbled into the back of the net. And that is fabulous. Fabulous from Everton, who rightfully, on the balance of things, take the lead. David Moyes delighted. Those home fans elated. And Beto with the opening goal for Everton that will shake things up in this European battle. Beautiful goal. And I have to say, I was reading through my stats list, and one of the stats that I looked at just before Everton scored was a stat that I was reluctant to read out, because usually it goes against you when you read things like that out. Everton had failed to score in 12 of the last 19 Premier League games against Chelsea, including each of the last 4 in a row. Overall, they'd drawn a blank in 28 Premier League games against the Blues, only doing so more against Man United. It's not going to happen here today, but Chelsea want to respond quickly. Big chance! Gone wide off a defender. Garner at one end to help with the attack. And back in doing his defensive duties to keep it away from pressure from Chelsea here. But we see it here. It's Cole Palmer, does well under pressure. Takes two players out of the game. Plays it into space and finds Gusto on that wide right position in a good acre of space. And he tries to play it across. Well defended by Garner, who put it behind for the Chelsea corner. But Everton were carved open there. Ball dropped in. Oh, good save by Pickford. Wonderful. Whoa. Jordan Pickford. Pick that one out. That's incredible. See the corner here. He flapped at it. Pickford initially was away from the ball. He flapped it away. And as it dropped, Enzo Fernandez, the recovery speed of Jordan Pickford, the reactions from Enzo Fernandez's strike. Great save. Back come Chelsea, another corner, drops away from goal. Caicedo picks it up on the right. Fires it to the edge of the area. And Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer a bit frustrated there that Enzo Fernandez got on his way. Pedro Neto. Ball fizzed in by Fernandez. No one on the end of it. Fabulous though from Jordan Pickford here. When we see the first action, it's not the most confident of got it to goalkeeper, and he kind of flaps the ball away and drops it into the path of a Chelsea player. But what great goalkeepers do, no matter if they make a mistake, they make up for it right away. And Jordan Pickford is that personified completely, because he can do some mad things at times, Pickford, but one thing he is incredible at is his reactions and his real top quality saves that he makes. Incredible. Oh, given away cheaply here by Idrissa Gueye. Now Chelsea on the move. Neto down the left. Dewsbury Hall in his way. Neto skipping through a few, and Garner there in cover, making sure the ball was going no further. Throw in it will be. Well, if Everton are to go on and win this, it will be their 13th win of the season. That will be level with Chelsea, and only the top 5 will have won more games than Everton this season, and they would be just 2 points behind Chelsea with victory here this evening, Everton, and they would cascade themselves right into a very congested battle for the Champions League places. You gotta say, if they win tonight, Everton, they are very much in that conversation for chasing Champions League football, never mind just any old European football, which they would massively take here. It's been quite a number of years since Everton were in Europe. But in Champions League, it would be dreamlike, beyond dreams, if they were to win and really catapult themselves into that conversation. Quick look again at the table to show you what that means. And we'll update in a second. There we go. Oh well, it should show you that Everton leading has them up to where Brentford are in 7th. It doesn't quite show you that. I don't know why that hasn't updated yet, but nonetheless, Everton are up to 7th as it stands. Beto's gone down here wide in the right position and in need of some treatment. Well, the first half that has flew by, really. 39 minutes gone, 6 minutes of the first half to go, and Everton took the lead through Beto. But, you know, deservedly, I think, in front. And I think I made that claim whenever Beto did score. I think it was justice in the fact that Chelsea have been poor in this first half. And, you know, how many times this season have we seen teams be the better side and be punished for it at the other end for not being clinical? And it's just a gorgeous goal from Everton, I have to say. Really well carved out. Beautiful through ball by Garner and a wonderfully timed run by Beto. I mean, it's classic. And it's great to watch. And I think they deserve it, as I said, Everton, because they've gone about this game in the right way, played the right football and really taken the game to Chelsea, and deservedly have had control of them for a lot of this game. Despite the fact that Chelsea have had 9 shots and Everton with just the 4, but every time Everton come forward, you think they're going to do something. Where contrastingly, when Chelsea come forward, you think there's always, what way can they mess it up this time, or what way can they give it away this time? The lack of conviction, I think, in their attacking is what makes it a very kind of distant gap between these two when it comes to their final third threat. And Chelsea just look a little bit too late in the final third. They're not aggressive enough, in my opinion. They don't go for the jugular. They try and be too cute with it. And they're cute with it again. Lavia getting caught in possession. Njai finds Dewsbury Hall on the left. Up against Lavia. Cuts it back to wait for the run of Garner in support, who swings around the left. He will whip it in low. And cleared away by Jarell Hato. But again, Chelsea mistaken possession. And Everton take full grasp of it and say, we're going to take it to you once more. Vitaly Mykolenko to take this Everton throw down the left. Long throw into the box. Sanchez came to punch, and that will bounce behind for a corner. Garner, most touches in the match so far, 42. He's the one that's going to have the touch to whip in this corner for Everton. Going to go short with it. To Njai. Dewsbury Hall with a whip. Couldn't get over the head of Cucurella, who clears. But again, an Everton throw will come. And they do not want to wait around. Dewsbury Hall to find Njai, who wins another throw, this time out of Caicedo. Garner. All the way back around to Jake O'Brien at the back. Keane. 2 minutes to go with the first half. Everton 1, Chelsea 0. Oh, Njai wrestles his man out of the way, and Hato, Njai's cross. Cleared away by Fofana. Oh, 1-2's there, but again, Cole Palmer the runner. Tarkowski in cover. Gets it back to Jordan Pickford under no duress whatsoever. Mykolenko. Lovely direct ball, but Adrisagay couldn't keep it, but Dewsbury Hall is there to retrieve. Keane back to Pickford. Right to Tarkowski. Tarkowski goes long. Beto trying to hold it up in the end. Takes out Cucurella, and ultimately Chelsea retrieve in midfield. Caicedo. And Chelsea take something out of this first half, whether they've deserved it or not. Cucurella. Caicedo. And they're trying to play it around to create space, but Everton have been so compact, so disciplined. Out of possession, they've given very little to Chelsea in the way of space or opportunity or movement or gaps at all in the defence. I mean, a really strong performance from Everton in this first half, I have to say. Really, really strong. And the crowd very receptive to that. Just 2 additional minutes at the end of the first half. Again, trying to be too cute there again, Chelsea. Poke a ball through a gap that just wasn't there. Ultimately, Everton don't keep the possession for too long, but it's a little bit too impatient, Chelsea. But then too patient at the same time, if you know what I mean. They're that patient, then they just get impatient with it. They're too slow, and then they just get fed up and try and play a direct ball, and it just doesn't work. And they need to commit to something. Either commit to the short passing or be a bit more direct with it. Not being convinced by Chelsea in this first half, though. Gusto. Caicedo. Fernandez. And to flick it towards Palmer. Headed away. Gusto picks it up, but Idrissagay's there. And cleared away by Mykolenko. Now Beto on the charge up against Caicedo, who is going to get it back to his goalkeeper. Last few seconds of the first half here at Hill Dickinson Stadium. Chelsea with the ball once again, but Everton making sure there's no way through at the moment. Hato. Cucurella down the left, plays it infield, finds Enzo Fernandez, whips it back out, finds Pedro Neto, who swings one in. Cleared away by Tarkovsky. Eliminating Njai. Good wrestle with his man and Romeo Lavia. That's going to get Everton a free kick just before the half. I would say David Moyes will head into the dressing room very pleased if it is 1-0 at the break. Long kick by Pickford, and that is going to call an end to the end. Call an end to the first half here at Hill Dickinson Stadium. Everton leading by 1-0 through Beto's goal. Chelsea have had a strong spell of their own, but to no real threat, to no real avail for Liam Rosenior's side, who've been second best really so far. Albeit the stats might prove that it looks healthier than it is really for Chelsea. But you've got to say, Everton deserve to lead, and they do lead at the break. Half-time, it's Everton 1, Chelsea 0. Sure, one last kick. This is going to be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal. Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me. That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to Premier League Live half-time at, I was about to say Goodison Park there, at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. It's Everton 1, Chelsea 0 at the break. The goal coming from Beto in the 33rd minute is giving the difference between the two sides at the moment. 3 Premier League games already concluded this match week. Bournemouth and Man United played a 2-2 draw last night. We watched that here on LFS. You can go and watch the commentary highlights on the YouTube channel after this game, or right now if you wish. Brighton beat Liverpool 2-1 at lunchtime this afternoon, a 10th defeat of the season for Arne Slot's Reds, who are really in the mire when it comes to their league form. Champions League, completely different, but when it comes to the league, they cannot get a result at any consistent level at the moment. Liverpool. Danny Welbeck, either side of Milos Kerkez's goal, gave the victory to Brighton, and another home victory this afternoon. Fulham beating Burnley by 3-1. Sorry, after they were a goal down. There, Fulham. Zian Fleming with the opener, Josh King, Harry Wilson and Raul Jimenez with a late penalty won the game 3-1 for Fulham, albeit though Josh Laurent was sent off as well in that game for Burnley. It finished Fulham 3, Burnley 1. Coming up a bit later though, Leeds take on Brentford. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff tonight. A Leeds side looking to keep their place in the Premier League and bolster their hopes of safety. Take on a Brentford side who will look to react to what Everton and Chelsea are doing right now and try and capitalise on whatever they can. We'll see that at 8 o'clock. And then tomorrow, lunchtime, at noon, Newcastle Sunderland at 12, and 2:15 kickoffs, including our feature game, Spurs taking on Nottingham Forest, both against as well as Aston Villa West Ham, both kicking it off at 2:15 tomorrow. Confirmation of that game, Spurs v Nottingham Forest tomorrow 2:15 here on LFS, all building up to that Carabao Cup final between Manchester City and Arsenal. That is tomorrow at 4:30. Big second half though at Hill Dickinson to come. Everton lead by 1-0 at the break. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Second half between Everton and Chelsea on the way in just a moment. That's on the way as it looks like there's some movement on the Chelsea bench as well. But a reminder, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you all for joining us this evening here in LFS. Great to have your company once again. And what has been already a very entertaining Premier League weekend, and surely more to come. Certainly in this second half. And just the one goal between the sides in the first. But maybe a change of approach for Liam Senior and Chelsea, because Alejandro Garnacho's coming on. And he's going to replace Malo Gusto. Very interesting decision. So whether they'll go to a back three and just put wing backs in Chelsea. Or he could make some interesting adjustments. Maybe put Caicedo at right back and, I don't know, Enzo Fernandez a bit deeper, Palmer central, and then Garnacho wide. But it's a lot of readjustment for Chelsea over a half-time interval. But we'll see how it affects the way they've been able to. They will be able to play in the second half, because it was a pretty, I'd have to say, poor first half really from Chelsea's point of view. Attacking-wise, very poor, but again defensively very sloppy in possession at times. As the referee gets us back underway at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Everton kicking from right to left, or sorry, left to right, and Chelsea from right to left in the second half. You're getting a bit lucky there that his pass wasn't completely intercepted by Garner, just deflected by it. Palmer. Neto, who's gone to the right hand side for Garnacho to go to the left. Looks like Caicedo is playing fullback. Here is Caicedo. Lavia. Enzo Fernandez, back it goes to Wesley Fofana. That's one thing you got to say about Liam Rosenior, though, albeit Chelsea have been poor in this game so far, but he's not afraid to change things. He's not afraid to kind of rip up the idea and go again and make some adjustments, make some kind of tweaks in game. So good managers do. Good coaches find a way to adjust and get their team back into the match in play rather than waiting too late and adjusting too late. He's not afraid to make changes when he needs to. Garnacho into the path of Cucurella, but no room to manoeuvre there, and the last touch off the Spaniard. Goal kick it will be. And the kind of questions I have to ask really about Chelsea is that lack of concern, that they cause the opponents when they do break forward. I mean, they've had 9 shots in this game, Chelsea, but I guarantee you the vast majority of people will say, well, actually Everton have looked the more threatening. Everton have had 4 shots compared to Chelsea's 9, yet it's the side with half the efforts that looked the more threatening team, and you got to question, well, why is that? That's a lovely ball though by Dwight McNeil, and Beto was the target. Jarell Hato had to head it behind for the corner. And I kind of think it's the fact that Everton are not afraid to be a bit more direct. They're not afraid to kind of bypass the midfield. Not kind of confined by passing out from the back type rules. They're playing the right passes. They're confident in the way they play and where each other is. And are not afraid to change things up and switch the play or play a longer ball, be a bit more direct, or at times when it needs to be, play those short intricate passes. They're very versatile, Everton, and I think it's very much gone in their favour so far. McNeil deep to the back post, headed down, and Sanchez got there just ahead of Beto, who was alert and in a very dangerous position to threaten here. Flick on by Tarkovsky, and Beto was just there, but Robert Sanchez was just ahead of him. Got his hands to the ball. Again, my point that Chelsea have so many shots, but you never really feel like they're always dominating, if you know what I mean. In that first half, even when they did have their good spell, Chelsea, at no point did I think, oh, Everton are in real trouble here, because they weren't really causing Jordan Pickford too many problems, Chelsea. And, that's the root of the cause. They're not really testing the opponent's goalkeeper. I mean, it's key, it's core to being a threat in a game of football, testing the opposition. Everton haven't looked out of their comfort zone too much in this game so far, and it's something that Liam Rosenior has to try and figure out. He's trying his best right from the off here to make that change at half-time, bring Garnacho on, readjust a few players in different positions, try and change the trajectory of this game for Chelsea in a positive light, in a game that's been pretty much lackluster from the Blues so far. Neto linking up with Palmer in the midfield. Again, heavy ball by Cole Palmer and João Pedro. To say he's been feeding off scraps is actually being kind to Chelsea. João Pedro has been non-existent in this game, and probably not of his own volition, not by his own kind of problems. Again, poor there in the midfield. Caicedo gives it away cheaply, and now he's left the gap down the left, and then right of the Chelsea defence, and left for Dewsbury Hall to break. He's covering in now, Caicedo, but here's Njai. Now finds Dwight McNeil. He will clip it towards Njai in the box, but headed away and picked up by Romeo Lavia. Challenged by Garner, wins the ball back though for Everton. They've got bodies up the field, and Njai couldn't find the through ball to Beto. And cut out by Cucurella. Lavia. Fernandez. Right to Alejandro Garnacho. Gets away past Dwight McNeil. Find Cucurella on the underlap. And now to Enzo Fernandez. Just runs into James Garner there. That's really poor. Beto. Try to reverse it to Dewsbury Hall. Incomplete. Picked up by Chelsea again. Fernandez. Garnacho. Back to Enzo Fernandez, but again, sea of blue shirts around him. Back to Lavia. Again, they're a little bit slow as well, Chelsea. You know, when they move the ball, it's like they're reluctantly passing to a teammate. There's a lack of energy behind the ball, lack of pace, lack of intention, conviction. They just look like they're passing for the sake of passing, rather than passing to make a move or to get into space or leave a gap or drag players out of position. They look like they're passing just to stat pad, really. Whereas Everton, there's clear intention, clear conviction in the way they're playing. It's really lethargic from Chelsea. They need to be quicker. Garnacho finds Fernandez, but again, smothered by two in Everton colours. And now Dewsbury Hall's on the breakaway. Down the right comes Dwight McNeil. 3 in blue, 4 in white. And ultimately it's the numbers that come out the better that time as McNeil was beaten off the ball. Now Palmer. Try and carry Chelsea forward against Everton. Chops back inside Garner. Palmer! Tried to find Joao Pedro, who was off balance and lost his footing. And Everton back onto the ball a little bit end to end all of a sudden, which would, I would suspect, benefit Chelsea more than the home side. Iliman Ndiaye has Wesley Fofana for company down this left. Iliman Ndiaye, no way through there, and reverses back to Gay. Now Mikalenko, who does feed it down the left for Dewsbury Hall, who is fouled there by Moises Caicedo. That's going to be a free kick to Everton here on the left channel. And it's silly from Moises Caicedo. I mean, Dewsbury Hall's going nowhere. No one to pass to. He's facing away from goal. He's kind of edging his way outside of the confines of the pitch. And Caicedo gives him a lifeline by fouling him. Another free kick chance here for Everton. Garner and McNeil over it. It's Garner that's going to take it. 5 in blue in there, all with a lot of height on their side. Garner's delivery, it's deep, it's right on Sanchez, who was forced into his own net and has gone down in pain here, Robert Sanchez. I mean, it was right pinned on the Chelsea goalkeeper, this ball by Garner. Maybe a little too deep, actually. And he's just trying to keep a hold of the ball. He does keep it from travelling over the line, but he kind of bounces back into his own post there, Robert Sanchez, and he did well. I mean, it very easily could have been bundled back over his own goal line. Looked like he was kind of shoved into that position, though, by an Everton player. Nonetheless, we play on. Sanchez is okay. Lavia. Space, but again, not in a mood for playing a forward pass there, Romeo Lavia. Plays it to Caicedo, who comes in field inverted from the full-back position. Joao Pedro linking up with Palmer, but couldn't link up that second time. Beto holding the ball up here for Everton, finds Dewsbury Hall. Down the left to Iliman Ndiaye as Beto makes the run. He comes out to the left, he's got Ndiaye inside. Little 1-2, well closed off by Caicedo. He tracked Iliman Ndiaye there. Again, a little bit more biddy between the two sides. Now the side really able to take control of the first section of this second half, really. It's ebbed and flowed. Both sides have had their small spells of possession, but nothing too considerable. It's Keane right over the top of a Chelsea man, and João Pedro wanted the foul, but it's actually gone against the Chelsea centre forward in the way of Everton, which Liam Senior is bemused by. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing Michael Keane does wrong there, and then João Pedro tries to get back to his feet. He actually impedes Keane getting to the ball, and that's why the referee's given the free kick the way of Everton, but it's definitely not a foul. Initially, on João Pedro, definitely not. Another quick change here from Liam Senior. Romeo Lavia is off, and Andres Santos is on. So a second substitution for Liam Senior of the match. 10 minutes gone in the second half, and clearly still not happy with what he's seen from his side, who are yet to have a shot in the second half so far. Just the one for Everton. O'Brien high up the field and wins a foul out of Mark Cucurella. That's going to get Everton a good free kick in a good position. Again, Cucurella claiming that he was innocent there, but let's see it again. Yeah, I don't think that's a foul. I think that's very soft. I think he kind of bought that foul there a little bit, Jake O'Brien, but he's a big fella. And when he goes down, you kind of think something big's happened, but Mark Cucurella definitely didn't foul him there, in my opinion. Free kick it is, though. Garner and McNeil over it. Garner and McNeil over this. Here's Garner, right-footed, swung to the back post. Too close to Robert Sanchez, though, who gathers comfortably, but again, right idea, just a little too deep there from Everton, but look at the press. Illiman and Jai and Dewsbury Hall right on top of Chelsea from the off there. And they force it out for a throw-in. I mean, I have to say, they've been really inspiring in this game, Everton. Their energy, their press, their just desire to get to the ball. It's been really, really impressive. And again, Chelsea under the pressure, make a mistake, and give away an Everton throw. Well, a day of twists and turns in the chase for European football. It's gone quite a few ways. Brighton winning, Fulham winning, Brentford play later, and Everton currently beating Chelsea means it's the chasing pack are catching up. O'Brien fizzes, back post, headed across by Dewsbury Hall. Beto took it down, but ultimately away from goal rather than towards it. And Everton pick it up. Or, sorry, Chelsea, apologies, pick it up, as I was just looking at the bottom of the screen there. Showing us the games coming up. There's one more Premier League game to come of this match week here in LFS. That's Spurs taking on Forest. We're talking about the European places tonight, but it's about relegation tomorrow when we take action at North London. 16th place Spurs take on 17th place Forest, both trying to keep themselves out of the grasps of the bottom three. West Ham will play at the exact same time as those two away at Aston Villa, and there is a possibility that either Spurs or Forest could be in the bottom three come the afternoon's end tomorrow. That is a very realistic possibility. Here's Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea, trying to curl one. Good save by Pickford. Parried it wide with his left hand there. Really strong goalkeeping, but a clean side of goal for Chelsea. Beautifully swung by Enzo Fernandez. Very well saved by Jordan Pickford, though. Yeah, it was best chance of the game so far for Chelsea, I have to say. Well saved by Pickford once again. Whipped in from the corner. Away by Karkovsky at the front post. Picked up again by Palmer. Whips it in deep. Too deep and too high for Wesley Fofana. Goal kick. That was their first shot of the half there for Chelsea, that Enzo Fernandez effort. It was a good one, but it's met by a keeper who's in good form, and a keeper who at the moment is keeping his side very much in front. Yeah, really good save by Pickford. Really strong save. Oh, Keane still got on the ball, even though he was challenged a few times, and in the end gives it away with his pass. Idrissa Gueye getting the better of his man, and now look at the space in front of him. Can he make advantage? Idrissa Gueye rolls it to Beto! Oh, it's rolled under the keeper, and it's gone in. Robert Sanchez couldn't keep it out, and Everton double their lead. Chelsea at one end, stopped by the opposing keeper. Everton at the other, couldn't be stopped by the opposing keeper. And Beto again is jolly on the spot for Everton. 2 for him, 2 for the Toffees. And they lead by 2-0. Incredible. I told you about the threats that Everton are causing Chelsea this afternoon. It is unmatched. And you have to say it is damning for Chelsea. But again, it's Michael Keane took the risk. He was ultimately not cost by the fact that his team had his back. Chelsea then take a risk with a defender driving out. They're dispossessed, and the gaping hole is massive. Idrissa Gueye charges into acres of space. I mean, it's the halfway line, and there's no Chelsea player within 20 yards of him. Runs it right to the edge of the box, waits for Beto's ball, kind of run across him, times it right, gets there. Beto struck it well, low, hard. Keeper should make the save. It goes underneath Robert Sanchez, who reacted too late. The ball had already crossed the goal line. And that doubles Everton's lead and doubles Beto's tally for the night. Everton 2, Chelsea 0. David Moyes again celebrates with glee. And his team deservedly double their lead. And this game has been perfectly executed by the home side. Perfectly executed. Shake of the head from Liam Rosenior, who cannot believe it. Fernandez. Garnacho. A little bit loose there, but he helped out in the end, but then given away, and Beto was on the charge again, but the ball too far ahead of him. I have to say, Beto has been impeccable tonight. Absolutely impeccable. 2 goals from 3 shots. He's made really, really good strikes, really good runs. Really caused the Chelsea defence a lot of problems. I mean, 25 touches from Beto, and he scored 2 goals. Compare that to João Pedro, the opposing centre-forward, who's had 19 touches, and I don't think he's even had a shot in the game. He's had 2 shots. 1 on target, to be fair, actually, in the first half. The contrast between the 2 players, though, in this game. It's Fernandez, but it's more than that. I think it's, excuse me, it's been a really good team performance from Everton, and I think they have more than deserved to win this game. As from what we've seen in the first 65 minutes, they've deserved it because they've worked hard as a team, both in attack, in defence, winning the ball back, staying compact, making sure there's no room for Chelsea. Even when they do make a mistake, they're all kind of swarming the Chelsea players to make sure that it doesn't affect them. It's really, really strong. And Chelsea, I mean, it's very one-dimensional. Pass it from side to side, wait for a bit of space to open up, and then wait for a bit of magic. I mean, it's really lacking. And yes, it's not been... Everton haven't dominated possession or dominated the shots or dominated the XG, none of that. But what they are is a team that when they get their opportunities, they take them. And under David Moyes, there's nothing more that epitomises his teams than that. And I think it brings me back to West Ham. And look, Everton are a much kind of... Under David Moyes, have done a lot more than West Ham did, albeit West Ham won a European trophy. But what I mean is, when West Ham were at their best and they were competing for European silverware in Europe, they were a team that did so well with less possession, but when they broke forward and when they got forward, they had a clinical attacker, they had pace in the wings, they had players that would fight for each other. They did everything right. And that's what Everton are in this game. Listen, I can't compare it to the Everton that David Moyes had years ago because I didn't watch that team, but I can compare it to that West Ham team that won a European trophy under David Moyes. And it really is reminiscent of that here at Everton again. And, you know, an Everton team that, as I said, had many's a trouble over the last number of seasons where they were relegation threatened. They were a team with a lot of doom and gloom around the club. Players not fighting for the challenges. Players very lacking when they play. But there seems to be an energy about this team, about this stadium, about this club at the minute. It's very, very contrasting to what we've seen over the last number of years from Everton. And a club that's been in the doldrums for years deserves its resurgence. There's no better man, surely, than David Moyes to try and offer that up. And at the minute, 2-0 up against Chelsea at home and right in the mix of the European chasers. Here we go again. Ball in the box. It's high. It's not cleared away by Chelsea. Drops for Dewsbury Hall on the edge. Whips it from wide towards Beto. Dropped and cleared away by Garnacho at the back post. Keane will just recycle it back to Jordan Pickford. Quarter of the game to go. Everton 2, Chelsea 0. Both goals by Beto. It's been on fire tonight. That's a ball though. Finds Garnacho. He's got the break of the ball there. Tarkovsky steps in. Really smart. Well, Beto has scored 4 league goals this season coming into this match. Only one of those 4 have been at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. That was in a 4-2 defeat against Brentford at the start of January. And he scored 2 goals at the Hill Dickinson for the very first time. And in this game alone, has beaten his tally at this stadium already. Last season, only scored 8 Premier League goals for Everton, did Beto. He's on 6 right now. Only actually played 30 league games last season. This is his 31st appearance in the league this season for Everton. More reliable. Picking up the goals when he needs it, and his team need him to at the most. And the referee has had enough of Alejandro Garnacho's complaining, and he's shown the half-time substitute a yellow card. Corner delivered in, headed away well by Everton again. By the way, another change from Liam Senior's side. Pedro Neto replaced by Estevao. That's the 3rd single substitution he's made. Liam Senior, with 20 to go. His team have a lot of work to do if they're going to rescue anything out of this game at this stage. Ball picked up here down the right hand side by Palmer. Wide is Estevao. Back to Palmer. Palmer at the byline, across, deflection. Takes it behind for the corner. Yeah, Palmer can be the difference. He's been very quiet today, Cole Palmer. I mean, I think Chelsea have been quiet all round in attack, but it's very unlike Cole Palmer to not be taking the game to the opponents. Ball corner whipped in! Pickford there. I think a hand of the gods there from Jordan Pickford. Still alive as Caicedo has it on the edge, trying to work into a shooting position, but Dewsbury Hall breaks it apart. And then Jai to McNeil. Now Dewsbury Hall and Everton are on the breakaway. McNeil trying to wait for Njai to make his run and keep the attack going for Everton down the left. Look at this. Njai, edge of the box. Shot right down the throat of Robert Sanchez. Really good from Everton again. Really, really good. Really good. That's all I can really say at the minute. They're looking really fluid, Everton. I have to say I've really enjoyed watching them in this game so far. Very enjoyable. 18 minutes to go. They're right in the mix. As I said, a win here for Everton tonight would take them within 2 points of Chelsea, within 3 points of Liverpool, who currently sit in the top 5. So, as I said, Everton, a victory here tonight of any margin would see them very much in that conversation with the top teams, the top 6 teams. As Beto out-muscles his man there, and Fofana keeps the Everton possession. And I have to say, Beto's been at his very best today. I mean, it's not only the fact that he's been physical, strong, his hold-up play's been good, his passing has been good, his running in behind has been really strong, and then obviously taking the 2 goals, his kind of shot accuracy has been really strong as well. I mean, in every area of the field, you want your centre-forward to be strong. Beto has been strong for Everton, and he's played the perfect game. Oh, Pickford sold a little short there by Keane, but he made up for it, did the England goalkeeper. If they were to lose here today, Chelsea, that would be their 5th away defeat of the season. They were only outnumbered in terms of least away defeats by an Arsenal side who've lost twice on the road. They were level on away defeats with United and City, both on 4. But a loss here would see them their 5th defeat of the campaign on the road. And continue what has been a difficult place to go when it comes to heading away to Everton. As I said, just 1 win away at Everton in the last 8 trips to either Goodison Park, or well, it would have been Goodison Park before this season. I mean, that's dismal away from home against Everton for Chelsea. That 1 win, as I said, came in August 2022. Everton have actually won 5 of those 8 games. 2 draws, including the last game, which was a goalless draw. Both draws actually ended goalless. Corner it will be to Chelsea here, though, on the right side. Swung in. Oh! Andre Santos was close, but skimmed all the way through. Yeah, it's a good ball. Whipped in beautifully. Swung to the back post, and Andre Santos was close, as was from Estevao's delivery. Ultimately, came to nothing, as Lamer Sr.'s going to go to his bench again. Remember, this will be the last time he'll go to his bench. Who will he bring on? I'm still surprised Liam Delap is not in this game. They're lacking that physicality up front, Chelsea. Lacking anybody really testing the Everton defence, and they've not done it all day. I mean, João Pedro, as I said, has been non-existent. Oh, a ball drops here for Njai. Edge of the box, could they finish it off? Beautiful! Iliman Njai absolutely rifles it into the top corner. And that's going to cap off 3 points for Everton with a 3rd goal from Iliman Njai. And the Hill Dickinson Stadium hasn't seen their team win much this season here, but they're going to see them put Chelsea to the sword and very much reignite true belief that Everton might be a European team come next season, and Chelsea might be in a bit of trouble. But what a weekend it has been for the teams just below that top six. The chasing pack. Everton winning, Fulham winning, Brighton winning, Brentford to play later with a chance. If they win, they would go level on points with Chelsea. I mean, they're not just the chasing pack, they're right on the coattails of the top six teams. And there might just be more than a handful of teams in the chase for Champions League places. Oh my goodness, that finish by Iliman Ndiaye. Top corner. I mean, it's top ends, perfect. There's no gap between the post and the crossbar there with that finish. The ball is literally guided into that top corner. As perfect as it could be. And Iliman Ndiaye reinforcing what has been a perfect result for Everton today. And Beto capping off his performance with an assist. 2 goals and an assist for Beto. He's also had an unbelievable afternoon. And David Moyes going to his bench for the first time this afternoon. Going to see the departure of Dwight McNeil. And Jared Branthwaite is on. So maybe just an ability just to solidify the game and be a bit stronger defensively, but I don't think they can be much stronger defensively than they have been. As Chelsea going to go to their bench for the final time. I said I'm surprised Liam Delap wasn't on the field. Well, he's going to be on the field now. Delap and Tosin are going to be coming on. And Moises Caicedo and João Pedro have been replaced. But I did think it was very obscure that Liam Delap didn't start this game. I mean, Liam Delap is the definition of a physical centre forward and a player that really could have caused some problems to Everton. João Pedro really didn't lay a glove anywhere near Michael Keane or James Tarkowski today. But I have to say Everton have been far and above the better team. Far and above. And anybody that didn't watch this game will say, well, Chelsea had more possession, Chelsea had more shots, Chelsea had more XG, Chelsea had more this, that and the other. But at the end of the day, only one team has deserved this victory, and that's been Everton, because Chelsea have been slow, lethargic, really, really poor on the ball at times. And they have not, I mean, maybe once or twice caused Jordan Pickford problems, but I mean, once or twice across a whole game is really, really poor for a team that needs to win, needs to keep pressing the teams above them and staying away from the teams below them. There's pressure on Chelsea, and I mean, this week they've been cut adrift quite a few times. I mean, it's on the verge of 4 defeats in a row for Liam Rossinier. Losing to PSG 5-2 last midweek, beaten at home by Newcastle, then beaten at home by PSG, and now beaten comfortably away by Everton. I mean, it's been pretty dismal for Chelsea in the last week and a half. I mean, they've scored 2 goals in 4 games and conceded 12. 8 overall against PSG, 1 against Newcastle, and 3 here today against Everton. Thankfully for Chelsea, their next game is at home against Port Vale of League One in the FA Cup. And then they have the great task of welcoming Manchester City to the Stamford Bridge in a few weeks' time. 4 defeats in a row was a real major downturn in form for Chelsea. For Everton, albeit they've lost 3 of the last 5, the other 2 have been wins. But it looks like it's going to be 3 wins out of 4 now for Everton, and how quickly the tide can change. But again, it all comes down to just really clinical play, really good movement, strong counter-attacking play from Everton today. And they have killed Chelsea every time. I said it. I mean, they've had 8 shots in this game, and 7 of them have been on target. That is the definition of a team using their opportunities well and causing a threat when they come forward. And Everton have epitomised that. And by the way, their star attacking player, Beto, who's been involved in all 3 goals, is off. He's been replaced by Tierno Barry. They're not done scoring yet, Everton. This could get worse for Chelsea. Dewsbury Hall, oh, poor ball across the edge of the box there. Picked up by Delap. Played to Garnacho. Will be a pretty disappointing weekend, though, for the teams in the top 6. United dropping points, Liverpool losing, and Chelsea losing. I mean, it's going to be a real disappointing week. I mean, Aston Villa could be the big winners this week because they could literally be the only team in the top 6 to win, because Arsenal and City don't play. United drew, and Liverpool and Chelsea are both lost. I mean, Chelsea will lose. They're 3-0 down with 8 minutes to go. But, you know, if Villa beat West Ham at home tomorrow, which they should based on the way who they are and the way they play, and certainly where the table sets them and the players they have. But Aston Villa side have been a little bit of free fall in the league recently, but themselves could win tomorrow and could be within a point of United again and be clear of those below them. And what was a risk for Aston Villa, dropping points and having all the European football as well to balance, and the injuries they have, could turn into be a pretty positive weekend for Aston Villa if they win tomorrow. And it's very rare that none of the top 6 teams in the Premier League win in a weekend. Now, obviously, 2 of them won't play, but you know what I mean. It is a massive rarity. But it just goes to show that this Premier League is a lot tighter than it seems. Here's Garnacho, cuts back, cross it comes, away from Michael Keane. Enzo Fernandez a bit peeved off there. Being brought down by Iliman Ndiaye, and getting a little bit in each other's faces there, but referee Sam Barrett to get in the way. I think Enzo Fernandez, they just got a little bit his back up there by the fact that Iliman Ndiaye committed the foul. But, I mean, Chelsea can only be frustrated with themselves today. They've been really below par. Really, really poor. I have to say, really poor. I mean, from the Chelsea team that I watched at PSG, and I mean, they collapsed late in that game, but the Chelsea team that were battling PSG last midweek in the Champions League, in that first half, are, I mean, this team's a shadow of what I saw last week. Really, really poor from Chelsea today. But take nothing away from Everton. They've been by far the better team. And the scoreline very fairly reflects that. Punched away by Pickford from the free kick. Oh, a miscue there might invite another counter from Everton. Here it comes, and neither away. It's 3v3. It's Dewsbury Hall with space. He's got Barry trundling in on goal, but Dewsbury Hall wants to go himself. Well saved by Sanchez at the narrow angle. Charging away down the left was Dewsbury Hall. I mean, Barry made the run. It would have been, the pass was on, but Dewsbury Hall wanted to go himself, and in the end did get the shot off, but straight at the Chelsea goalkeeper. But another example of how open Chelsea have been and how easy it's been to get past them today. To carve the way through them. I mean, Everton have had... genuinely, I think Chelsea have given a real case study in how to beat them today, because if every team replicates this, Chelsea could be in trouble. And I mean, that's a bit silly to say, but you know what I mean. Everton have had all the time and space they could have ever wanted in the wide areas today. And it is a major problem when it comes to Chelsea, because they do invert their fullbacks. They do bring them in field. They leave those spaces. And then the centre-backs, I mean, they're never completely confident on the ball. You never feel like a Chelsea centre-back's going to dominate one of his opponents. So you're never really convinced by Chelsea's defence anyway. And then you take the two fullbacks out of it, leaves two centre-backs on their own. It makes it even more vulnerable. But the wide areas, Chelsea looks so open, so vulnerable. And Everton, time and time and time again today, have targeted it. And every time they've done it, they've been able to find a way through and cause problems. Especially down that left side. It's down the left that it's been much more potent. Dewsbury Hall and Jai, even better when he was on the field, kind of drifting out to that left side a lot more. Oh, that's a nice ball by Pickford from the free kick. Little 1-2 there. Barry is going to leave it for Dewsbury Hall. Wrestling there. Nicely defended by Esteval, cutting back. Clear it away. Tarkovsky with a header. Brought down by Njai. Dewsbury Hall to Garner. Back to Michael Keane. 3 minutes to go with the 90 minutes. Everton 3, Chelsea 0. Beto with the first two, and Beto setting up Iliman Njai's absolute incredible goal for 3-0. Wonderful finish. Yeah, Tierno Barry. Well, closed out there by Chelsea, but again they were progressing the ball, Everton, into the final third. They're relentless at the minute. Here's Garnacho. Cucurella. I have to say they've found the balance really, really well today, Everton as well. You know, a team that can counter-attack. The game can come stretched, really open end to end, but they've been really smart. They've picked their moments well as well, Everton. When they have wanted to counter, they've had the ample cover, even if they don't keep the ball or they give it away, and they make sure that they don't get countered on the counter, if you know what I mean. And they've been really strong in every area of the pitch today. Really, really strong. Well, another change incoming here for David Moyes. It's going to be a double change, it looks like, here for the Scotsman and his team. And Iliman Njai putting a real statement on this victory with that quality of a finish. And Kieran Dewsbury Hall is going to join Iliman Njai to be taken off, and a double substitution that's going to see the introduction. I would like to know who they are, but confirmation that it is Tim Irabunum and Merlin Roll that are on. So Roll and Irabunum on, replacing Dewsbury Hall and Iliman Njai. Last minute of the 90. I have to say, though, what an incredible weekend it's been so far for really mixing things up. I mean, we're at match day 31, and I could probably say, I mean, listen, realistically, there's probably going to be 3 or 4 teams that are battling for the remaining Champions League places. But as it stands in the Premier League, Bournemouth in 12th are only 6 points off Chelsea. That's how far down it is, really congested. And it used to be the top 6 were kind of in their own kind of collection, and then there was like about 7 or 8 teams below them that were all within a few points of each other. The fact that the top 6 have been so inconsistent that the mid-table teams have kind of closed that gap and kind of concertinaed the whole table together. 6 points between 6th place and 12th place. 7 points between 5th and 12th. Means that with 7 games to go, anything is still possible. I mean, I was talking last night about Bournemouth having possible renewed hopes of being in European contention. And a draw against United is not the worst result. It could have been better if they won the game. They would have been very much in the battle, but don't rule them out. I mean, Bournemouth with 11 game unbeaten run. Everton side are looking to make it 3 wins out of 4. So these teams that are chasing Chelsea and Liverpool and Aston Villa and Man United are all in good form and are not to be sniffed at. As I said, for Chelsea, Man City next in their next league game, albeit that's not until the 12th of April. And it's not an easy run for them. They've City at home, United at home, Brighton away, Forest at home, Liverpool away, Spurs at home, and then Sunderland away in their remaining 7 games in the league. Their next 3 are really tough games. City at home, who are going for the title, United at home, who are right in the mix in the battle with Chelsea, Brighton away, who've caused Liverpool real problems today, and then Forest in a relegation battle, Liverpool in the mix with Chelsea. It's not going to be an easy run-in for the Blues, no matter what happens. For Everton, they've got Brentford away next on the 11th of April. They've got a few weeks rest before they're back in action with no European football. Everton have got Brentford away. Then the Merseyside derby here is their next home game before a trip to West Ham a few weeks later. So some interesting games to come up for Everton, which they can very much get some good points out of as well. Oh, big chance! Good save out of Sanchez. I think that was Tierno Barry that had the shot. Well saved. 2.5 minutes to go of the 5 added here at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Everton with the ball again. Garner. Here about him. Roll. Tarkovsky stopped on the ball just to see if Enzo Fernandez is okay, as he's still down, but I mean they didn't have to stop it. It's not. I mean it's not really needed. It's not a hand injury. I have to say, 3 home games to come for Everton, and they're all going to be big ones. Liverpool, Man City, and Sunderland. I mean, very exciting remaining games to come at home for Everton this season. None bigger than that Merseyside derby on the 19th of April. That's an incredible day, by the way, of Premier League action, the 19th of April. Merseyside derby followed by Man City Arsenal at 4:30 that day. I mean, that's going to be an incredible double header on that Sunday afternoon. And now the Olays are out as Everton pass the ball around in their own half. And that pretty much sums up how amazing this game's been. This crowd have adored their team's performance, and rightfully so. They've been incredible today, Everton, and much the better team, and deservedly picking up the 3 points. And I think they deserve a clean sheet as well, because Chelsea have applied very little threat. And if they ever had, Pickford with big saves, big interceptions defensively. I mean, every player to a man has been exceptional today for Everton. Exceptional. As I said, up to 7th, 13 wins, 2 points between them and Chelsea, 3 points between them and the top 5 in Champions League places, we suspect. I mean, wonderful stuff. Five minutes are up. I think Chelsea are just ready to call an end to this game. And there is the final whistle. Everton absolutely pasting Chelsea on the banks of the River Mersey. An incredible performance from the Toffees, and reigniting true European hopes for Everton. David Moyes was the manager the last time Everton were anywhere near European football chasers. And he is the manager again, looking to rebirth this club again amongst the top. Chelsea came and they were conquered on this pitch. Beto with the first 2 goals, beautifully taken, and then Iliman and Jai said, "I'll raise you," and put in an absolute cracker into the top right corner. 3 great goals, a wonderful performance, 3 points and a clean sheet. A perfect day at the office for David Moyes and his players, but quite the opposite for Chelsea. 4 defeats in a row, back-to-back league defeats without scoring. They are in trouble, and not just from those above them, but very much from those below them. And that is an issue that will crop up for Liam Rosenior, whose team have a few weeks to mull this over and try and come up with a response. They've Port Vale at home in the FA Cup next, followed by Manchester City in their next league game. It's never easy, is it? And when it rains, it pours, and it has been pouring on Chelsea over the last week and a half. But can they find a way out of it? For Everton, it's 3 wins out of 4. And that is a real incredible turnaround for David Moyes in this team. From relegation battlers last season, a few seasons ago as well, to a team that very much could have a European dream come the end of this season. An incredible afternoon of action for Everton, who by far destroyed their opponents and put Chelsea to the sword. Final score from the Hill Dickinson Stadium. It's finished Everton 3, Chelsea 0. And that is a weekend which has remained unbeaten for home teams. 3 home wins today in the Premier League after a home draw last night. 2-2 draw between Bournemouth and United. Brighton beating Liverpool by 2-1. Fulham 3-1 winners against Burnley. And Everton, the only team to keep a clean sheet so far this weekend, as Chelsea became the first side yet to score without a goal in their game this weekend. Everton 3-0 winners. Leeds v Brentford is an 8 o'clock kickoff to this evening, so that will round out the Saturday action in the Premier League. And then the Premier League's back bright and early tomorrow, lunchtime, directly at 12 o'clock. Newcastle Sunderland in the Town Wear Derby, and a 2:15 kickoffs. Aston Villa facing West Ham, and Villa, this could be one hell of a weekend for them, seeing Chelsea, Liverpool and Man United all drop points in the same weekend. And Villa have a home game against a relegation battler. No easy game against West Ham as of recent, but that will be one they would surely be betting on winning to take real advantage and real grip of their place in the Champions League spots this weekend. And then we watched at 2:15 the Spurs-Nottingham Forest battle, as those two sides look to be staying in this competition in the league for next season, both fending against relegation just outside the relegation zone. But as I said, they could, either one of them, be in the bottom 3 come the end of tomorrow's action. And we round off tomorrow with a Carabao Cup final. Nothing better than that. When the league's top 2, Arsenal and Man City, face at Wembley for the first silverware of the season. That is tomorrow at 4:30. But that is it from us tonight. An incredible result for Everton, who have really catapulted themselves into the European conversation, and very much looking like the team in form from the chasing pack that are quickly becoming the teams that are very much in this conversation for Champions League football. It's finished 3-0 at the Hill Dickinson. Thanks for your company, and we'll see you again tomorrow.